Shalom, Israel. Elder Stephen here. And I got a response for Deacon Asaph. He had a lot to say on his Friday Night Freak show. We all know he a superhero. I forget what they call that boy on the Fantastic Four that turned into a flame. But I got something to say about him and them lies that he trying to get you to believe. Their problem is they have a doctrine. Their doctrine is the Gentiles cannot be saved. Once you find a flaw in that doctrine, that means the doctrine is a lie. The scripture said that Abraham circumcised his house. His house was Gentiles. When you find out what that word circumcise means, look in Jeremiah 4:4. Circumcise means that you teach them and convert them. Think about this. Who is foolish enough to think that a man is going to allow another man who's 100 years old to have access to his penis? Nobody would do that. These people are idiots. If a man's 100 years old, he's got a hand shaking like this, talking about hold him down, I'm going to cut the foreskin off his penis. Nobody's going to allow that to happen. These people are foolish. If you believe something like that, you're an idiot. What they did in Isaiah 34:16, the Most High said that you should seek out of the book and read. He say, none shall want her mate. He's telling you, don't make the Bible with any other book. These dummies have taken the dictionary and they are telling you these words mean this, these words mean that. They don't know what the words mean. So now here the Most High saying you got to be precept upon precept. Matthew 18 tells you, you need 2 witnesses. That's 2 precepts. These men are uneducated and they're teaching these people that they can't get the kingdom when in fact the Most High said they can. Abraham, he converted the Gentiles. Isaac, he converted the Gentiles. Isaac, he converted 100-fold, 100 times 100. That's 10,000. Just like David did. When David went to get those 200 foreskins, he circumcised 200 men. These men are idiots. Circumcise means convert. They're idiots. Joseph converted the entire nation of Egypt. The Pharaoh gave him his ring, something that you wear. When you wear something, it's a doctrine. These men don't know what they're talking about. That's explained in Job 29:14. Also in Isaiah 61:10. Whatever you wear is a doctrine. When you're clothed with something, any type of jewelry, just like Pharaoh gave Joseph that ring, the Persian king gave that ring to Mordecai, because Mordecai was teaching them the doctrine. They don't know this because they're uneducated. Then he's a big liar because he's trying to convince you that being that his bishop is sick, which is the Most High judging him, if y'all say he anointed, he the anointed leader of Israel, and the Most High take his voice away. Why would the Most High take his voice away if he the anointed leader of Israel? He's being judged. That's right. He's being judged. So he comes with this class talking about if you get sick, it's a lot of people in the Bible that got sick. They're attacking us. They're attacking us. One minute, he's a tough guy. The next minute, he's a victim. That's an old trick. Try and make it seem like everybody attacking them when they the wicked ones. That's right. You getting called out today. We know exactly who you are. Whenever he got up there and tried to tell y'all Tobit got sick because his eyes got blinded by feces from a bird, these liars are so good to you all because y'all don't know what the words mean. A bird. If you go to Leviticus 11 or Deuteronomy 14, it tells you what those animals are talking about. It ain't talking about kosher. It ain't talking about, well, you can't eat this, you can't eat that. Eat means learn. That's 1 Corinthians 3, verse 1 and 2. Eat means learn. Whenever it's talking about those animals are people. When those animals muted in his eyes, it's telling about the future. He's saying Tobit is the righteous. He's saying that the righteous are going to have their sight blinded by birds. Birds are the fowls of the air. The fowls of the air are the Pharisees. That's what that's talking about. It ain't talking about some man who got sick and blind, but he was a really nice man and he helped the people. He buried the people. Tobit is a preacher. To bury someone, that means he converted them. Bury, slay, all of that, killed, that all means convert. Romans chapter 6, verses 1 through 6. Spiritually, that's what that's talking about. That's the problem with y'all. Y'all go and y'all take a token. A token is an example of one thing that means another thing. I'll give you an example. If a man and woman love each other and they give each other rings as a token of their love for one another, does that mean if the guy or the woman doesn't give them their mate a ring that they don't love one another? The ring is a token. You don't understand the difference between carnal and spiritual. The carnal is the token. The spiritual is the actual meaning. He got up in there and he started telling lies about Hezekiah. He was lying about, Hezekiah got sick and the Most High gave him time. Listen, Hezekiah ain't talking about him getting sick. If you go and you get sick and you put some figs on your wound, them figs ain't gonna heal you. That's a lie. That's a trick of the Pharisees. They tell you, well, you just have to have faith because they reading the Bible literally. Literal is carnal. Spiritual is the real meaning of it. Those men are not educated. That thing is talking about the Most High converting Hezekiah and giving him years, days, understanding. Y'all don't know that the times in the Bible is talking about something else because y'all not educated. The moment you say, I'm leaving the doctrine of Egypt, that's your first month. That means you got some education. You got 1 month of education. The Most High calls it Abib. They telling you, well, it's the new year. Abib means you got the education of leaving the doctrine of Egypt. They don't know that because they're ignorant. They're not educated. They can't go precept upon precept. That's why they're afraid, because their doctrine is being destroyed right before your eyes. He talked about some woman who was bowled over in Luke 13. She was bowled over. First of all, a woman is a doctrine. That doctrine was wicked because it had a burden of the Pharisees. Christ removed the burden. You know that scripture that say, my yoke is easy and my burden is light? Christ corrected the doctrine. That's what that's talking about. That man's an idiot. He's sitting there telling you all of these lies. He ain't nothing but a warlock, a sorcerer. He don't know how to rightly divide. Rightly divide means you can separate the carnal from the spiritual. None of those men can do that. When you mix them together, that's called sorcery. He's a warlock. And y'all sitting there listening to that foolishness. Then he started talking about Satan and Job. The fact that y'all don't know what these words mean because y'all looking at the dictionary version of what those words mean, y'all don't know. What did Satan do? Satan, immediately, he went and he killed all of his sons. He said they was taken away by the Sabians and all that other stuff. What that's talking about is his sons was converted to different doctrines. It's telling you what's going to happen in the future. That's what it's telling you. It said that his skin was plagued with boils. Skin is doctrine. The skin is a covering. Coverings are garments. There's this scripture that they always use. Genesis 25 and 25. It's talking about Esau. He had a red and hairy garment. Job 29:14. Tell you garment is a doctrine. Isaiah 61 verse 10 is telling you a garment is a doctrine. Stop believing what these men are saying. They're lying. He sat there and talked about Lazarus. Ain't no man on this earth ever brought a man back from the dead. Unless it's a situation where they're up in there in that operating room. So you know in the Bible they didn't have the benefit of all that technology. Christ did not raise Lazarus from the dead. What Christ did was he showed Lazarus how to kill the old man. The old man in Lazarus died. And Christ rose him up in the new doctrine that he was teaching. Y'all go to all of those camps. You go out there and when you get through, you read Matthew 26. He was talking about, the lady that put the oil on the ointment on him. That's who that is. That's her brother. And all of that. The first thing that he's saying in that scripture is talking about Christ sitting down at meat. 1 Corinthians 3:1-2 is telling you Christ teaching that doctrine by the name of Mary, which he learned from his father. Mary is a doctrine. He taught that doctrine to all his disciples. These men have no understanding. The Most High said that the banner was going to be lifted. That ensign was going to be lifted. He said that light was going to shine out of darkness. That's right. All of that stuff is true. It's happening now, but y'all can't see it because y'all following these foolish men. The last 2 plagues in Egypt when Israel came out of Egypt. One of the plagues was darkness. That's what's happening right now. Darkness. You have no understanding. Gross darkness, because these men have caused y'all to believe these lies and y'all not even asking questions. The last plague, he said he was going to kill the firstborn. He was going to kill the firstborn of Egypt. Y'all know what Egypt is. Egypt. That's the land doctrine of captivity. All them captains. That's right. All them captains who up under all of these big time leaders. They gonna start seeing it. And they gonna convert. That's what kill means. They gonna learn the true doctrine and they gonna convert. Get ready, Deacon Asaph. Get ready, bishops of IUIC. And anybody else that stands with them. Because the Most High has determined that now is the time for the war. It's a spiritual war. Y'all sitting there waiting on Christ to come and tear up Tokyo. Ain't gonna be no Godzilla in Tokyo. Christ coming through, stomping on people and all that other stuff. It's gonna be a war of doctrines. Spiritual versus carnal. We know who we are. Zechariah 9:9. Y'all don't know about the 2 asses. An ass is a prophet. Go and read that story about Christ coming into Jerusalem, riding 2 asses. How can a man sit on two animals at the same time? It's impossible, because it's talking about something else. He's saying those two asses gonna have Christ sitting on their head. Y'all better pay attention. These men are lying to you. Get the understanding. The Most High has called it. Elder Samuel declared the war in the last video. It's time. What you think you gonna do whenever all these people start showing up at y'all camps with this doctrine, showing that y'all lying? 100-year-old man is not gonna get access to another man's penis, especially if he's shaking his hand with the knife. Y'all don't believe that foolishness? Get educated. Stop using the dictionary to understand the Bible. We coming for y'all. This doctrine gonna live. And everybody that hear this doctrine, they gonna convert, because they gonna see the foolishness that y'all teaching over there. That's all I got. Shalom.